Hello and welcome to I Am Geek. This is episode 301. I'm your host, Ryan, joined by my best pal, Katrin.
Hey-o!
And that's it. It's just Katrin and me. It's just us.
Yes.
Just the two of us.
Can make it if we... That's all we got.
It's all we can afford.
That's all we can do.
We're sorry that we've been absent for a few weeks.
Yeah.
Katrin was gallivanting across Texas.
Right. In Texas, but didn't see either of you in Texas. In Dallas and in Houston.
I like how you made that work out. Like I get a text like, "Oh, I've been sitting in Houston." I'm like, "What?"
I wasn't there long.
Oh,
we did sit on the
put my hand on the window. You could have put your hand on the window.
That's right.
We could have sang "Oh,
Yeah.
to the angels."
Yeah. We sat on the runway. Tarmac, one of those things, and Dallas, and I fell asleep.
Oh.
And before we even started rolling, I was listening to something, fell asleep, and I wake up and we're just sitting there. I was like, "Are we in the air or are we sitting here?" I'm not really sure. They turned the engine off and said that we were waiting for clearance, and I found out later there was a weather issue, whatever. So, but
I'm glad you weren't in the air with the engine off, because that would have been bad.
Yes, it would have been bad.
But the two of us are back. We thought we would just sort of have a fun chat tonight, and hopefully you'll listen along like you're sitting around the campfire with us at Fort Wilderness. You know,
I mean, we've got cooler weather right now with the hurricane that went through, right?
So well,
cooler.
It's still like in the 90s today.
Oh gosh. Oh man, we got down to the 60s up here in Memphis.
Oh, see.
But it'll go back up to mid 80s tomorrow.
Yeah, my daughter was like, "Let's play outside," and then I was like, "It's awful hot today," and my son was like, "It's too hot to play outside today because it's still in the 90s." So we did not get the cooler weather.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, just didn't even get much rain. Just
really,
it's hot.
Oh man, it's rained all day here, and but not heavy, but very windy.
Yesterday, I think we had some sprinkles, but that was about it.
Interesting. Okay. Well, that's good though.
It avoided us. That wall that I built.
Yeah, it worked.
It worked. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good problem to have. Not getting the rain.
We all went outside here and we just started blowing towards the direction to blow it away.
Well, good.
Yeah.
Glad it worked.
Community effort.
the whole neighborhood got out there.
Oh no, the whole city. Like we just all they said at this time, everybody go outside and just blow in this direction to make the storm go the opposite direction.
Wow.
Yeah. Science.
Wow.
Science.
That reminds me, at church last night we did the story of the Samaritan, you know.
Yeah.
And there was a painting that went along with the story.
Uh-huh.
And it was a huge face blowing wind into the sail of this little boat.
Yeah.
And that was pretty much it. And it had the Bible verse on there from the Great Samaritan. And that was in.
That has nothing to do with the story.
I wasn't sure what to do. No, except that maybe he was helping move the boat. He was helping. That was the story was about compassion, right?
Okay.
But I was like, I don't know what this has to do with this, but I'll read the story. It was funny.
I thought this picture was cool.
Yeah.
It's funny if you're watching on YouTube, which you should watch on YouTube to see our smiling faces. Yeah. I'm in a different position tonight, and the way that the cameras are set up for both of us looks like I'm like this little person.
I can move mine if you need me.
No, it's fine. It's like I'm this little guy, just sort of like way lower than you. Like, hi. I don't know. I could just there.
Oh, there you go.
On my feet. I think it's just the way my camera is angled or something. Making me look like a midget.
That's all right.
Or a smaller person.
A small person.
Yes. We feel short. But I'm not.
There's nothing wrong with being short.
There's nothing wrong with being short, but maybe that's why when people see me like in real life, they're like, "Oh, you're much taller than you
You're
look like
much taller.
on screen."
That is funny though when you meet people and they're shorter than you realize, like Tom Cruise or
Yeah, I guess I'm
James Earl
taller.
Taylor or
So I
whoever.
just sort of sit back and relax,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah,
We were talking earlier before we started about
yeah.
I was like, I've got this I'm using my cool, like, Disney cup from oh gosh, I wonder when this one's from. They
Mm.
should tell on here, like, they should put
They should put a year
the
or
years.
in the place that you got it from, right? Because most of them don't say what hotel they're
Used
from.
to each
Yeah,
hotel had their own.
right.
This is all I mean, we haven't had one of these in a while, but I was saying, I've got one of these Disney mugs that you get,
Resort mugs.
resort mugs that you get when you stay in a resort, or you can. I remember when they were really cheap, and now they're
Yeah, yeah.
so expensive. I remember this is how old I remember back in the day when we lived in Florida and we went and stayed at a Disney resort because we were DVCs. We would
Yes.
just take the same cup every time
Right,
and
because they
use
didn't
it.
have chips in them.
It didn't have chips in it. You just go, "Oh, grab a cup," and nobody cared. Everyone's like, "Yeah, it's
Like,
fine."
I mean, that stuff's pretty cheap for them,
Oh,
honestly.
but for the fountain drinks, it's
Yeah,
basically they give it to them. It's a
right,
deal. It's a deal advertisement deal with Coca-Cola,
right.
and they get it for free basically. So
Now, I mean, you do get coffee and hot chocolate for free because they have no way of
yeah,
managing that, and they just say, "Okay, whatever." But, I mean, it's all just basically water and this little syrup, and it's so cheap.
yeah, yeah.
It's
But I
it's
love
just
my
a
cups.
money-making thing for them.
I was saying that this is probably these cups are the souvenirs that I use the most because I'm
Yeah.
like looking around my room and there's just stuff sitting on the shelf. But this I use. So if you
They're
go to Disney, I mean they're way more expensive now than they used to be. But take it home with you. You can use it.
I think the first ones we ever bought were, like, $20,
Oh
maybe. I mean,
really?
yeah.
Oh, we got them
Which
for
we get
like way cheaper than that.
I'm
Used
sure,
to.
yeah. I mean, it was still worth it to us to have them. We just have a few, but we did the last trip we were on, we bought some. We don't typically get them because they don't hold a ton, and if you try to
Yeah.
take it to the park, you're like, "I'm already out." Drink that in 2 seconds because it doesn't hold so much, and you gotta carry it.
Yeah.
But it's a cool souvenir, and we got the last ones we got were from the 100-year anniversary or
Oh,
whatever,
cool.
so, um,
Yeah,
we
they
thought
used
they
to be
were
a
pretty
lot bigger.
Yes.
There were really big ones, and then there was ones that had like big and then the skinny that would fit in cup holders better.
Yeah, that's cool.
And now these are the kind that they have, I think, still.
Yes,
Um,
that looks familiar.
but the size got smaller over the years and the price went higher. I
Yeah,
think it was
changed
like
how they're
12, $13 back in the day.
it could have
And
been,
and we
yeah.
were like, "Oh man, that's really expensive." But then it was like compared to today, it's like, "Oh man, I wish we could go back to that."
I still remember the first time you and I went, and the ticket for a one-day pass was $54.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy? Like,
Good
and I
old
thought that was a
days.
lot of money, and it was. I mean, at
Yeah.
2002, and, it was $54, and now it's more than double that, it's,
I know.
140 or something is the cheapest, I don't know.
Yeah, I got rid of my pass because it was just like it went up so much that I'm like, "I can't afford that."
Yeah.
And I'm gonna be there in Orlando for the Halcycon convention as a vendor for my kyber crystals from iamGEEK shop.
What?
Yeah, among other things. I'm bringing kyber. I'm also bringing this. It's the wall that you stand in front of when you
Ooh,
enter the
yeah,
Halcycon. It's like something sitting on your
that's
desk.
cool.
I thought
Yeah.
people that don't have lightsabers, they still
Yep.
want to get something from me. There you
They
go.
wanna put it on their shelf, put it on their desk.
Desk. I'll drink out
Very
of it,
cool.
but
You can't drink out of it.
no. But anyways, what was I saying? Oh, I'm gonna be down there, and I'm like, it'd be fun to go to Disney, but then I'm like, the ticket prices are just
Yeah,
so much now. Like I'm
it's a little crazy.
tempted, I'm tempted to go to Mickey's Not So Scary
Hmm.
because that would be fun.
It is I mean, you've been there, it's fun, to do that. It is more expensive, though,
Yeah, that's the truth.
but if you get there when the time starts when they start letting people in, which is what,
It,
4 o'clock?
3 or 4, yeah,
Or
something like that.
I don't know. I think it's 4. I could be wrong about that. It could be 7. I don't know.
No, I
Okay.
think it's like 4 at
That's what I
least.
was thinking. I mean, they have that big line that you have to wait in too, but you get a decent amount of time and you're there till late, right? So you really get to do whatever you want. So
Yeah.
it is worth it. It's just a lot more than a normal day, especially if
Yeah.
you buy both, which we've done. It's like, oh
Wow.
my gosh,
I wouldn't buy. I would
the
just have
tour,
like one
it's
day.
fun.
I'd have that Sunday that I could go to a park.
Mhm.
So I guess it depends on how much I sell.
That's right.
I'll be like, "Oh, I
'Cause you
sold a
walk
lot.
up and
I can go to the
get all these
park."
ones. No.
Like, I would like to go
Yeah,
to Galaxy's Edge, but I'm like, "No." Now it's like when you don't have a pass, you're like, "Do I wanna spend that much money on a day ticket
for a half day park.
just to go to Galaxy's Edge," you know?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's not as great as it used to be, but I
And
don't
then
know.
if
I
you wanna
mean,
ride rides without having to wait in long lines, now you gotta pay on top of that, so you're paying for the ticket again, then you're paying, what, the 20, $30 to get Genie Plus or whatever it's called now?
yes.
What's it called
Yes,
now?
did you see the rumor? Well, I don't think we talked about this, but did you
Oh.
see the rumor that they're talking about a, what do they call, like, a premium pass,
Oh.
where you can just it's like the, Universal one where you pay this premium price, and you can one ride or a ride one time per day, so, but multiple whatever ride you want to, you can walk up like it was a fast pass, but you don't have to worry about the time. I can
So you
just
pay
say,
for
"I wanna
one
ride it."
ride?
No,
Oh,
I'm
okay.
saying it wrong. You can only do, like, Haunted Mansion once, but then you could go do the other ones, you know?
Oh, okay.
So, it could be all of the rides one time, I guess I should say. That was the rumor. I haven't seen anything else on it, but it would make
Mm.
sense. I mean, everybody's like, "I would pay a $200 or whatever it is for it," you know, because it's gonna be expensive because it's gonna be
Oh,
an
yeah.
anytime fast pass, you know, and it's they gotta make it worth it. If not, then there's no point in it, you know, so it's gotta be expensive.
Yeah. I don't
I
know.
don't know. It'd be a lot
We'll
of money.
see if I go to the park, or maybe I'll just chill out in the hotel or go to Disney Springs. I don't know.
Yeah. There's a lot to do outside of going to a
But it's sorta
park.
hard not to go to the park
I
when
know.
you're
We
not when
did
you
it.
don't live there.
I know. It is hard. We went to see my parents last summer and stayed at All Star. We never stayed at All Star. So we stayed there and only went to the parks one day, but we had other days just there, and it was kinda fun just walking
Yeah.
around and going to Disney Springs and riding the, Skyliner, just doing
Yeah.
things not in a park, you know? So it's certainly doable, but certainly more fun to be in a park too.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah,
We haven't talked. I mean, I'm trying to think. Did we even talk about D23 stuff?
we
Probably,
did.
right? We
We
did.
did a we did a show, yeah.
That's right. But there has been something announced since then. It's a new villain show
Ooh,
coming to
yes.
Hollywood Studios. And I thought when this was announced, I'm like, finally, fi- it's been since 1991. We're finally getting rid of the Beauty and the Beast show. I was like, finally, it's been there so long since 91. It's moved like 3 times to 3 different locations. It's funny, that show came out the day the movie came out.
Hmm,
So, Beauty and Beast had not been out in theaters. They didn't know if it was gonna be good or bad, but they decided, "Let's do a stage show at the parks, and we'll release it the same day as the movie,"
hmm.
which the stage show is basically the movie. That's like that would be unheard of today
Yeah,
for Disney to make a movie and be like, "Let's release an attraction the same day," because now they're like, "Let's see how it does
right.
at the theaters and then see how it does on Disney Plus, and then maybe 10 years from now, we'll put in Monsters, Inc."
That's right.
You know? But, yeah, so it's
Yeah.
been and I thought that's where I was like, "Well, that's where it's gonna go." And then they're like, "No, no, no.
No.
We're taking out Lightning McQueen, kicking him to the curb."
Well, because he's gonna be at a different park
Yeah,
partially.
yeah. I mean,
Well, I
but
mean,
Beauty and the Beast is a different
right.
park too.
That's true. That's true.
So, they're kicking them out, and so, basically, it's behind Rock and Roller Coaster. You have to
Yeah.
know it's there,
Yeah.
that building, to go to it, because it's way back in the back. If you don't know it's there, you wouldn't, like, stumble across it.
Right.
Used to, I think that was backstage. You couldn't even go back there. So there's like a big fence, like a big gate, but now the gate's open. You can go back there. Which have you seen that show?
No. the Cars thing.
Yeah. It's actually pretty cool.
Is it?
Like,
Okay.
yeah,
It always sounded ridiculous to me. I'm like, no.
it's pretty cool, especially if you
Okay.
have kids that like cars
Yeah.
and stuff.
Sure.
But it's like a full-size Lightning McQueen on stage, audio animatronic,
Right.
and he's like, putting on a whole show for you, talking you through it and everything. So it's pretty
Yeah.
cool for what it was. But now that's going away, and the villain show's coming in. Which my
Yeah.
theory about this villain show, I have a theory,
Okay.
is that they're doing this villain show to see how people. They're going to put a bunch of villains in it, and they're going
Yeah.
to see how people
Who do they
respond to the
cheer for?
villains and how they respond. They're like, okay, that's
Yeah.
a good villain to put in villains land. That one, maybe
Yeah.
not. Maybe they'll even rotate them around. I don't know, but it is weird that after they announced the villains land, after D23 is over with, they're like, oh, by the way, there's a show coming next year to Hollywood Studios all about the villains, which is cool. More villains.
Yeah. It's to get people excited about the new land and say we're really doing this, guys. and we're not using this area for Monstropolis or anything. So I guess.
But that's another thing people were saying. Since that villain show is going there, does that mean that the Muppets days are numbered?
Gosh, that's crazy. We still don't know, right? It seems like it.
I think from what I heard, the rumor was that they were going to announce where it was going to go, but then they decided not to because they didn't want to make people mad at D23.
I can imagine. I mean, there was a lot of people upset about it. So
yeah,
they said, "Well, let's rethink this, guys."
To me, it would make more sense to put it where the old animation building, because that area of there's dead. I mean, you've got the Disney Junior outside of it, but then that whole area back there's dead. That would make the most sense. But it sounds like, it sounds like they may be going Muppets. I don't know.
We'll see.
We shall see. Which it doesn't seem like there's that big of big enough space in Muppets, but I guess there is.
That's what I thought too. I was like, well, is it enough? I don't
know. They may cut it all back by the time they start building it. They'll be like, just like they got rid of Mary Poppins and the Play Pavilion, and they might cut it back, and it's just a ride now.
Yeah, that was pretty depressing to read just a while ago that they officially announced that the Mary Poppins idea is dead. So,
but really, from what they described the ride to be, I don't think I would ever go on it.
Yeah, I mean, it's
like a teacup-like ride, right?
I guess. I don't know.
And I don't do teacups because it makes me sick, so I wouldn't do that.
Yeah,
if that's what it was.
It
wouldn't have been like a cool dark ride. I think it was something like teacups.
I can imagine. Yeah, and the Play Pavilion was going to be cool, but
yeah,
I mean, it just seems too big for what they're
now
able to do.
That empty building is just going to sit there even longer.
Yeah,
one day it's just going to collapse. And we're like, well, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
There was speaking of empty buildings, there was some paperwork filed for work on the guard check. This made the news for some reason. The guard check of the Galactic Star Cruiser. And people were like, what's going on? There's work going on the guard check. But they're opening it back up. What are they doing? I think they just don't want to pay somebody to sit there, so they're putting in automated stuff. Either that or they're beefing up their security because people keep trying to sneak in.
Maybe so.
I think that's going to sit there like the doomed wonders of life. It's going to sit there for a while. Which I'm going to a convention based all around it in October.
Yeah.
Halcycon.
That's
600
exciting.
people at least are going to be there to celebrate. Yeah, to celebrate the Galactic Star Cruiser.
Very cool.
The death of it. Our other show, Living as Landspeeder, I found out we'll be doing a live show there.
Well,
just me, I guess.
Just you. It's unfortunate. I will be in Arkansas that weekend. We've got a big trip planned or whatever. But otherwise, I might have tried to make it happen, I guess. But there's no way I can now.
Yeah. No, but it's fine. I was like, I'm all for it. Let's do it. I was like, do you have any guests that could be on it with me? Oh, we'll get you some people.
Oh no.
That's like 21 days away.
Right.
So we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, I bet it'll work out.
It'll be fun.
Yeah.
We'll have to
Maybe you
change
can
up.
come up with a way to do a live one where you come up with something together,
Yeah,
come up
maybe.
with ideas, and
I think our friend Patrick that was on
yep.
the
I
Land
was
Speeder.
thinking of him when you mentioned it. I was like,
I think he's going to be
okay.
on it because I
Yeah.
said something to him about, hey, you should just come be on it with me. Him and David, his father-in-law.
Yeah.
And he said, I think I got an email about that, about me being on it. And I'm like, oh,
I'm glad I knew.
all right.
That's funny. Well, good.
Yeah.
That'll be good.
I'm also going to be on a makers panel for people that
Nice.
create and make
Make
stuff.
things.
Yeah, make
Yeah.
things, make Star Wars stuff. So that'll be fun. And I'll have a vendor table.
Man,
I've never done that before. I'm a little nervous about it.
you'll be fine.
Yeah, because it'll just
There'll
be
be a
me.
lot of questions.
And I don't know, like, here's what I figure is going to happen. Either I'm not going to sell anything, or I'll completely sell out on the first day, and the rest of the weekend I'll just be like, I got nothing. Sorry.
Well, I mean, that's a good problem
No,
to
that
have.
would be a good thing. That would be the
Yeah.
good part. If I didn't sell anything, then that would be the bad part. But
Yeah.
we'll see.
Awesome.
Yeah. Let's see. Oh, other Disney stuff. September 21st. Big day.
Man, it's a big day. Do you remember?
I remember. It was announced today, right?
I think so.
The Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind.
Mm-hmm.
It's a roller coaster. If you haven't been on it, don't. It's not that good.
Most people do.
No, most people love it, and they think it's like their favorite ride. It makes me very sick. I was kidding, but they rotate their songs, and September is one of the songs that's in there.
The most popular,
and it's going to be on repeat.
Wow.
On September 21st.
People, this is your opportunity because it's the biggest thing that people try to do is like, I hope I get September when I ride it. Well, I don't know. I really don't know why.
Now you will. If you go on September 21st, all day long.
I think that's a ploy to get more people there.
Oh yeah.
To get people in the park. And why not? I mean, we can do it anytime, really.
Yeah. Oh, and Tron has gone down to
regular
standby.
queue.
Yeah, standby.
Yeah. No more virtual queue.
No more virtual queue.
Yeah.
So I saw videos of the first day of that, and people were rushing in. And it was like 90 minutes, I think.
Mm-hmm. Like a normal popular ride.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it got down to low weights, I think, too, at some point.
So right now, what's the only virtuals left? Is Tiana still in virtual?
I don't remember. There was something though.
I think Tiana is. I don't know if Guardians is still on virtual. It doesn't matter.
It really doesn't matter.
But yeah, Tron's not on virtual anymore.
Yeah.
So you don't have to get up early. You just have to go stand in line.
Yeah. You don't have to be lucky.
Yep. You can buy, I guess you can buy.
Yeah. So the two rides are Tiana's Bayou Adventure and Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind.
Okay.
Yes, you can get your multi-pass and try to score a Tron. I about said Tron's Deadly Discs. That was an Intellivision game that we had. It was pre-Atari or Atari days, whatever. And it was this game where you had to throw these discs across and try to hit the other guy. Tron's Deadly Discs. But
so what was I going to say?
Yeah. Tiana and Guardians.
So so Tron is.
I got
like
you. So you
don't buy. You have to buy it separate from the.
I don't know.
What do they call it now?
So they have the multi-pass now, and they have the tiers again. You remember with Fast Pass, you had the tiers. That's back. So we're basically back to Fast Pass, but it's paid. And you can only, when you book your fast passes early, you can book a tier one, and then 1, 2, and whatever. I don't know.
But
There's
certain rides aren't included in that. They're extra, right?
I don't. That's a good question that we should know. I don't know.
I
There
think
may
like
still be the
Tron,
individual lightning lanes.
yeah,
Yeah,
I think
like
Tron and Flight of
Rise of Resistance.
Passage
Yeah,
and
and
yeah, Rise of
Toy
Resistance,
Story, the roller
Slinky Dog,
coaster, Slinky Dog.
Slinky.
Yes, yeah, which is
We'll get
worth
with
it.
our people. We'll figure that out, and we'll get back with you next time.
I don't know that people depend on us for
No, they
planning
don't.
their trips to Disney,
They're
unless
like,
they're going September 21st, I guess.
just be funny. Just say something
Just
funny. That's why we listen.
be geeky and funny.
Yeah.
We
Say
do that.
something that we can laugh at you. Not with you, but laugh
Not
at
with
you.
yes.
I think the only other Disney thing that I wanted to talk about, and then we can move on to something else. It's not Disney. Is that Disneyland did a special Make-A-Wish event.
Yeah.
And I forget what it was called. It was called something cool, actually. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool.
I was just looking at it. Sorry. This is the it was a Make-A-Wish thing that they did. It was
What to say?
Blaze your path. Blaze your path. Star Wars
Yes.
Adventure. There we go.
Yes.
Yep.
And first off, glad that they did something for Make-A-Wish.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Those kids deserve like everything. But I watched videos of this because the grand finale part of this was in Galaxy's Edge. And if you were there for the day, they encouraged you to be a part of it, participate.
Yeah.
And they had extra like walk around characters in the park. And they said if the characters aren't interacting with the Make-A-Wish kids, then they will interact with the general public, which is cool.
Yeah.
So I saw a handful of them that were walking around, and then they capped the whole night off with Kylo Ren and Rey up on top of this platform that's over by Joy Depot, I guess, across from it. I think that's where it was. Having this big fight, lightsaber battle. They had sparks that flew when their lightsabers would hit like the bars and stuff. Like it was on the Star Cruiser.
Yeah.
But I'm like, what?
I was just well, they've already done it before, so they knew what to do.
Yeah, they knew what to do. But it was a good show for the finale of that. But here's the thing: I'm glad they did that. But now they've sort of showed their cards and have said, we could do this.
Yeah.
We're just not going to. Because that could be an everyday stunt show thing that they do at nighttime. They could have more characters walking around. They showed it, but they choose not to. So I guess it's just they don't want to spend the money on it. But it was a cool show. I mean, I don't know why. They should at least do it for like May the 4th or something, you know?
Yeah. You would think that would be the perfect opportunity to do it. Yeah. Of course, they don't need help getting people there for May the 4th, maybe. No. I don't know.
Yeah. It's cool, though. They should do like
slow times, you know?
I mean, like at California Adventure, they have the Marvel stunt show that they do every day. Right?
I think so, yeah.
In the Galaxy's Edge, they can just do that stunt show every day, every night.
Yeah.
I mean, something cool, something different. I mean, I think Galaxy Edge needs a nighttime thing anyways. You know? So
yeah.
Stunt show at nighttime with lightsabers, I mean, you can't go wrong with that. I don't know. It's my opinion.
So. Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
I think it could work.
Call up Bob and tell him.
Well, just do it.
Yeah, just do it.
Just do it.
But I think that's all the Disney news.
I think so.
I did see a guy that's making videos now. He goes to Disney Galaxy's Edge with a Jar Jar Binks hand puppet.
Oh.
And he's got the camera behind it, so it's just Jar Jar Binks talking to all the people in Galaxy's Edge. And he went on Rise of Resistance, and they were not happy about it. Because they try to stay like, you know, we're the First Order. and they were trying not to laugh, and they're like, "Just get out of here." It's pretty funny. I don't know what his name is called. All right, well, now it's time for the big news. The big thing everybody's been waiting for.
Everybody's waiting.
Everybody's been listening is like, I hope they get to this subject and talk about this, because we saw the pictures on social media.
What?
We saw the amazing things that happened. Please, Mr. Catron.
Yes.
We're dying to hear about the Arkansas Comic-Con that you went to.
Man. Yes. So we've been looking forward to this for a little bit, at least since the announcement of it coming. And it's only 2.5 hour drive for us, so it wasn't bad at all. It's in Little Rock, Arkansas, and I've watched this on social media for a while. Of like, oh, I should try to go sometime. You know, I have family that lives there. We're in Arkansas all the time.
Yeah.
But this year, the voices of the Clone Wars were there.
Sweet.
So Ashley Eckstein and James Arnold Taylor and Matt Lanter, and Ray Park was there too.
Oh, cool.
And oh gosh, somebody from Guardian of the Galaxy. The guy that does he have like a bald head or a mohawk? Who's shoot,
the Gunn brother? James Gunn's brother?
What is that guy's name?
Anyway. Oh, the blue guy?
Yeah, maybe. What is it? I can't think of his name. Anyways, there was yeah, he was there.
Oh, cool.
And then there were Star Wars people there. Star Trek people.
Whoa.
So they had Data was there.
Cool.
Brent, what's his name? And then Gates McFadden, and then the guy that did the voice of Mario and Luigi and Waluigi and Wario in the video games, he was there. And then a guy that did Scooby-Doo characters, he was there. It was a pretty cool event, and I wasn't sure what to expect. But I know that there's a company that puts on these Comic-Cons in different cities that aren't like huge cities, because the posters look exactly the same. Their websites look the same. But they always have decent characters. Surprisingly, they didn't have any. Oh shoot!
Power Rangers.
Power Rangers. No Power Rangers. They did have some. Yeah, they did have some anime people and very few artists. I think they didn't have an artist alley per se, but some voice actors, lots of voice actors. That some people backed out at last minute. Jeff Hardy, the Hardy Boys were both there. Both the Hardy Boys were there.
Oh,
Jerry the King Lawler, who lives in Memphis, he was there.
Oh,
and
cool.
There was one of the wrestlers got hurt and wasn't able to make it, so didn't get to see him. But I was impressed. We had gone to comic expos here in Memphis, and they're truly comic book conventions. Like it's not our scene, and we didn't enjoy that at all. In fact, when we went to that, my son and I both dressed up in cosplay, and we felt like oddballs, which is weird. So the good thing is, going into this, I knew that there would be people cosplaying, because they had cosplayers that were showing up, like stars, and they had cosplay competitions. So I was like, this will be fun. And sure enough, I mean, we got there and finally found a parking space, and there were people everywhere, like walking around it. Little Rock is a really cool city, small big city, whatever you want to call it. Well, and it was a beautiful day. It was really nice weather, and we had to walk kind of far to get there. So both my son and I cosplayed. My son was dressed up as a Fallout character, so he had my Fallout vault person suit, I guess, and my Pip-Boy, and he was excited, and I mean he was owning it. And, I mean, it didn't take long before we got out of the car, and there was another family near us, and they said, "Oh, cool Fallout costume." He's like, and he didn't know to say thanks. I was like, "You can just say thanks." He's
like, some weirdos are talking to me.
So he experienced that throughout the whole time we were there. Cool. We were maybe there like 2 or 3 hours, maybe 2 hours. It wasn't long. But we get in, and there's a special line for if you ordered your tickets, which we did, because we read that if you don't pre-order, they can only let so many people in the building. So if you are there for the day, they have to wait till there's enough room to bring in day of tickets. So it's like, that's kind of cool. But people everywhere cosplaying. I was like, this is really cool. It's but they had a huge floor with all the exhibits, all exhibitors where you could buy different things. I mean, it's similar to Comic Palooza, not as big, maybe a third or almost half the size of Comic Palooza, but it's pretty good size. We ended up buying a Fallout flag, a Vault Tech flag that's in his playroom, and then he bought a gun that was a Nerf gun that was painted to look like a video game gun. Basically, it's pretty cool. We ended up having to cut some of the darts to be able to fit them in there. It's like a revolver, and it only fits certain size. So, but they gave us some darts with it, so it was pretty cool. But I of course I cosplayed as my Rick Moranis mashup that I wore.
All the multiverse Rick Moranis characters just came together.
So I wore this at Comic Palooza, but I made additions to it this time. I added a Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, what do you call it? Magnifying glass with and I looked forever to find like a gooseneck kind of thing that I could put it on there. And we finally found in our house, we had a book light, and I got permission to take it apart, and I made it work. I used tape and screws, and it's on there. She's like, yeah, I don't care, whatever. So that was great. And then I also, at the recommendation from Ryan, added some miniature Audrey 2s.
Yeah.
And that I ended up making them out of Legos. I was trying to find some in store, like little figurines, and I ended up making some really cool ones out of Legos, and glued them together and put them on my backpack, and they're miniature. And I don't think many people got that. In fact, a lot of people said, "Oh, cool, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids helmet." And they couldn't quite get what was going on with what I was wearing,
They were here mentally, and you were just like,
just no, don't say
in outer space. Just so much big brain. You're just like,
but I got a lot of comments on it, which was cool. No pictures, which is fine.
oh, nobody wanted your picture?
Nobody wanted our pictures.
Oh, it sounds like me.
But it was cool. I mean, a lot of comments, a lot of people cosplaying. So many. They had their Arkansas Ghostbusters there. They had a table set up. One of the guys I talked to, he had his proton pack on the back that he made out of wood. Like, you could tell it was a box that pieces put together. I was like, wow, it's fancy. But talked to them for a little bit. They had a giveaway, and they also were doing the cards, like the psychic cards, if you could do the psychic test or whatever, and some other things, I think. But that was pretty cool. They of course liked the helmet, and then as I walked off, I saw some other Ghostbusters coming up. The guy there was a family of people dressed in Ghostbusters uniforms, and one of them had the same helmet on that I did.
Oh, cool.
Which is the first time I've seen that, and that was kind of cool.
Yours had a magnifying glass on it,
but mine had a magnifying glass. But I was like, "Hey, cool helmet!" And we fist bumped and went on. But I wish I'd gotten a picture with him or something, because his was pretty good too. I mean, he had the same pieces that I did, and that was pretty cool. And then I did see a Lord helmet.
Oh, cool.
From Spaceballs, and it was a really good one. I really wish I'd got my picture with him, because that would have been a cool Rick Moranis mashup there. And
something to add to your costume.
I told my son on the way there, I was like, I really wish I could have figured out a way to do a Lord helmet edition. I said, I guess I could get a ring, which he's not watched the movie.
Yeah, you could get the Schwartz.
Yeah, could get the Schwartz, or like a tie, or can't do a helmet, unfortunately.
Or you know what, you could just get like a jar of jam.
Yeah. Well, I thought about the coffee mug too. Like, he has a coffee mug, which would go along with the yes, have some, right?
Yes, have some.
There we go. Okay, we'll work on that so I can wear it again, I guess. But But we walked
Oh,
around. We like I said, we bought a few things. They had some really good booths, and they they had the similar kind of setup as any other Comic Cons
yeah.
that you think of, where you've got all the stars. And we saw James Arnold Taylor. That was the big reason why we went.
Woohoo!
And we got in line, and of course, everybody in line was either Obi-Wan Kenobi themed, or Final Fantasy, or some other
Yeah.
character.
And here
I'm
comes
just
Rick
this weird
Moranis.
Rick Moranis guy. But I had at the suggestion of Derek, since we had met him on Living with the Landspeeder, I emailed James and let him know that we were coming, and that I would be dressed up. He still didn't he didn't recognize me at first,
Ah,
but we did get a signature and a selfie, which is not cheap. But we went through the line, like you talk to the ladies and they get it. We're next, okay. And he's like, "Oh, Chris," and what I got signed
see, it
was
said Chris, not Catron. You just said Catron, he'd be like,
well,
"Oh."
I really messed up. I should have put, because I said I want a signature, and I don't want it like a special message. That, do you want it personalized? It's free. I was like, sure, why not? I can put Chris, I guess. I don't know, but I should have put Living with the Land Speeder, and
Yes.
that would have been cool, because what I've got is the this Funko Pop from Disney World
Sweet.
of the treasure skeleton that glows,
Yeah, I've got
and
it. He's sitting right here, but mine's not as cool as yours
mine's in a box.
because it's
Mine,
not signed.
This one is signed by James Arnold Taylor, and I wish I'd gotten him to put Living with the Landspeeder on it. But he looked at it, and I said, we did that on Living with the Landspeeder, and he looked up and he's like, "Oh, I thought I recognized you from somewhere." Which I was like, "I don't know if it's true."
He didn't recognize me.
But he stepped to the side. He's like, "Come here," and he gave me a hug, and gave Charlie a hug,
Oh, cool.
we talked for a little bit. I was like, "I love the movie," and he's like, "Oh, well, thank you." And we talked for a little bit, and I talked about Derek. I talked to Derek the other day. He got his new gig with blah blah blah. So yeah, it was kind of cool, and then hugged us again and sent us on our way, and we've got selfies. But we've
Move
got
along. Move
different
along.
pictures. Yeah, yeah. He had us take a picture of him with the signature, with the thing he signed, and
Yeah.
then he took pictures of us because we were in cosplay, and he put it on his Instagram, and then we did selfies, and it was kind of funny watching other people interact with him, because if they got selfies, he took the selfie because he can do it a lot better than they can, I guess.
Yeah.
And one person tried to do it, and he's like, "Okay, whatever." But but I was like, "I'll let you do it. You seem to be the pro at this." So we did selfies,
Oh,
and
cool.
that was cool. But it was a good experience. I think if we had been in a hotel there, like it was right beside a hotel, just like at
Yeah.
Comic Palooza, we might have spent more time there, because there was a panel later in the day with all of them,
Oh.
um, and we could have gone to it, but it was about 3 hours after we
Mm,
were done. We're just like, we're done. Um, if we could have gone back to a room and then come back without all this stuff on us.
yeah.
One of the things that did happen, I didn't mention this. I think I told you though, but I was standing in line, and heard a voice that says, "Oh, I bet that took a long time to make," and he was talking about my helmet. And I said, "Oh, it wasn't too bad." And it was Matt Lanter just walking by as he was going back behind the thing, and I was like, "Oh."
Come be on
But
our show.
I missed my opportunity to get Anakin on our show, but that was a cool.
We're close
So
personal friends with James Arnold.
so the only one I didn't get to talk to was Ashley, which she was pretty busy.
Oh.
We got there right after they had done all of their photo shoot things. But one of the things I noticed too, with all of them, where people could get their photos, one of the things I noticed was people that brought those pictures up, he would always sign his name. He said, "I'm going to sign my name above Anakin," because he always
High ground.
pressed, yeah. And he would say, "You get it, right?"
You get it, right?
It was funny.
And you go, "Wait, you're in Star Wars?"
I thought you were
I just know
Michael
you from
Jackson.
the skull from Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah, yeah.
You done other stuff?
Really, you did? But yes. So if you weren't familiar with that episode, he did. He was the skull is the skull on Pirates of the Caribbean. That where right before you go down, spoilers, down the hill,
Yeah.
the waterfall.
The one that takes your picture.
Yeah, and he says, yeah. I mean, he's actually it's his voice. Sorry, where it says "dead men tell no tales." Not really the guy on the side, but that's when you're going through the mist, I guess. Really. So I don't know. Or before,
I think it's so you're getting ready to go down the
but
hill.
that's what he
And
says. Yeah.
talking the skull's talking to you, and then his eyes flash, and that's where the camera is. It takes your
Yeah,
picture.
and that's what he's saying is "dead men tell no tales," but
Something like
'cause that's what he told us. And but anyways, so that was a cool experience. It was fun going with my son and having a good experience. Like he had, I think, a really good time, especially seeing the Fallout stuff. Like there weren't many people dressed as Fallout, so it was kind of cool that he got so many compliments and
the belle of the ball.
The belle of the ball, and getting to experience a good Comic Con. It's like it makes me want to take him to Houston with us, but there's so much that goes on there that I don't know if I want him.
You could take him to some stuff there. It's a good father and son bonding.
Oh my. Yeah, so we'll probably do it again. And maybe do some others. Maybe not do the same cosplays. Who knows? Maybe
you'll switch. He'll be Rick Moranis and you'll be Fallout.
What's so funny is he's never really. I mean, he's watched me play Fallout, but he's never played a Fallout game, like an official one. He's played some like Roblox versions of games, I think, because they make up games there. Because I hear him playing and he's talking about things that are in Fallout, but he apparently knows a lot more about it than I do. Because we'll talk about things and he's like, "No, this is what that is," and I'm like, "What? I don't know. How'd you know that?" But it was fun.
Well, cool. I'm glad you had a fun time. Yeah, I get to go to Comic Palooza, and that's about it because it's here. I mean, I'll get to go to Halcycon, so that'll be
and we get to go for free at Comic Palooza. I mean, this was not free, and I mean, all in, we spent a lot of money buying things, doing the autograph, which I probably could have gotten away with getting a selfie or something from him, but I didn't want to be like that and be like, "Oh, let's get a picture. I know you." So we went all out. And he was excited. My son was excited because he wanted to show people. He was really excited about showing people the pictures because I don't think I was going to do a picture. I was just going to do the autograph. And he's like, "Yeah, I'm going to get the picture." I was like, "Okay." We're going to print them out.
Guess we're getting the pictures.
Yeah.
Well, good. I'm glad you had a good time.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah. So we'll be back in, I guess, in a couple of weeks, maybe.
Yeah, we should be.
I don't know if
for
Chris
sure.
will be here
Living
or
with the
not.
Lane Speeder next
Living
week.
with the Lane Speeder next week. We may have a special guest, may not. We'll know more closer to next week. So I don't know what attraction we'll be doing yet because we had one planned, and then it may change because of the guests. And then it's not too long till I'll be at Halcycon.
Man.
So if you're going to be there, let me know. I'd love to meet you. I don't know if any of our listeners will be there or not, but if you are,
hey, yeah,
I'd love to meet you. I'm still trying to make Kybers for it and make everything for it, and it's been crazy. Hopefully, it all works out. And I'm still trying to decide if I dress up. Do I dress up for this? I don't know. Some people will say that they're dressing up, like wearing what they wore to Star Cruiser. Some people
I would imagine so. Yeah.
So I gotta figure out what I'm gonna
that's
wear.
The opportunity to do that again, right? Because there's Mosh Isley where people do that, and people still do it at Batuu, I'm sure. But this is.
But if I'm sitting behind a table all day, like, what am I gonna? What's gonna be comfortable to wear?
That's a good point.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know.
We'll see. We'll see. I got some Kyber crystals that are going to be debuting there, so that should be fun, and some exclusives that you can only get there.
Nice.
They're gone. Cool. They're gone. Ooh. But anyways, so next week, Live with Lane Speeder, and then hopefully the week after that, we'll be back with iamGEEK.
Maybe a Halloween next.
Yes, it started. I mean, it's going. We should have talked more about that. We'll talk about that next time about Oogie Boogie and all that fun stuff because they had new characters this year. Dr. Doofenshmirtz, live action. Right. Yeah, live in the flesh. So freaky.
I'm not sure if that works.
It's the scariest I've ever seen.
Yes,
and Hades, sort of live face character. So
Oh.
What?
I just said Haiti. I was but Hades, the character from
80s, yeah. Hey,
sorry.
D.
80s.
Anyways,
Like,
all right. So thank you for joining us. Make sure you, if you're on YouTube, like, subscribe, punch that bell.
smash it.
Yeah, smash it. If you're on Apple, give us a 5-star comments. That'd be great. And Spotify, I think you can do that on Spotify now too.
You can leave all
Yeah.
kinds of stuff now.
There we go. But thank you for joining us and listening and watching. Tell your friends. We'll be back next week with Living the Land Speeder. And then we'll be back next week with iamGEEK. Good night, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.